Hey, how's it going, guys? So, in today's video, that's a thing I usually like to do where I will go to some like vintage shops or antique shops, things like that, and I'll just kind of walk around, look around, and just take my time and just kind of just sort of browse around. And outside of this antique shop, right by the parking lot, they had some shoes set up. These are some Stacy Adams. And I mean, goodness, these things were just hilarious. These look like they are only meant for a certain outfit, and after that outfit, that is it. But I end up heading into the store, and they have tons and tons of just things that you would see from the 90s, the 80s, some 70s, 60s, even things you will see from the 50s. I've seen in here as well. And I don't know, man. It's always been really nice to go in here or when in any sort of antique shop or vintage shop and just walk around, look around, pick up some of the items, and just remember the yesteryear. Remember sometimes that I can recall, with the CDs and things like that, and or try to imagine times that were before, when I was here, and just try to put my mind, as to like how how simple those times were in comparison to now, and it kind of gives me just like I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but it's really peaceful for me, and so I'll do this every here and there, maybe every few months I'll go and see what any new items. This here is a lemon squeezer. I think that one is probably the 70s. This here, I forgot the date. I think I looked at the tag. I want to say this is the 30s or the 40s. A Corona typewriter. This is from the 1940s, and this was $149, and just beautiful to look at. And I could just imagine how strenuous of a time to use that. My grandmother used to have one of these, so this was really nostalgic looking at this. I mean, the exact same one. And she used to have like her earrings and jewelry up there. But I think hers had like an extra drawer that you could pull out when you opened it. But yeah, that was pretty cool seeing that. Brought back a lot of memories. What's up, guys? I thought that was pretty cool. It had like this sort of uh, sleigh, not sleigh, but this horse and carriage, stagecoach kind of deal. Saw this sort of brass, antique looking bicycle. Just all types of items in here. They have plenty of like Coca-Cola, like vintage uh, merchandise. They have this clock here. I want to say this was 70s or 60s. I'm not too sure. Here's the buttons, the knobs on it, the dial. But I want to say this was like either 50s or 60s. It just says vintage. Says it works, 34 bucks. But yeah, I want to say that's possibly the 50s. These look creepy. But it's really cool just going around and just imagining like the taste that people had in decor and home decor and interior design. These books here, I didn't know when these were released. I was trying to look and see when were these published on the inside of the book, but was having a hard time finding any information on it. It showed a date, but the date had like 1891. I didn't know if that was a date where they were published or maybe the the publishing company started. I'm not sure. Judging from the look of it, this thing was $1.50. Look at that. Goodness. Had to be forever ago. Look at this lamp. Man, it just looks so old. I could imagine what dates for these bad boys. But yeah, love coming into these stores, just looking around, just trying to amuse my imagination and just picture what it was like in those times and just how simple life was, but also wasn't. Um, how convenient things weren't back in those times, and how much more work you had to put in just to be able to accomplish something very simple. That looks pretty neat. Looks like a cup you would take with you if you're going camping or something like that. This little section they had dedicated just to Babe Ruth. They had the Chew pinch hit. They had a nice amount of pictures and memorabilia. God, look at the uniforms. This boy like an insurance salesman. They had the poster. Had another photo of him that's already framed. I mean, they had a bunch of memorabilia in regards to this guy. And another picture up here. George Herman Ruth, aka Babe Ruth. Had a calligraphy pen that I thought was pretty interesting. I was going to pick it up, but I decided not to. And they had a bunch of other ones over here as well. Not sure if these are like vintage. Those make, because they still make those type of pens, but I don't know if those were actually vintage or not. They had a 1940s vintage German travel grooming kit. Thought that was pretty interesting. I always love just coming in and just checking stuff like this out, and just like I said, just imagining, yesteryear. It had some vinyls in here, some Stevie Wonder. That's pretty cool. The Commodores. Look at that. Look at that graphic design. Man, it's so old school. Not too sure what that's all about. But yeah, they had a ton at the Ramones. They had a ton of old vinyls in here. I think I saw a vinyl player at this old Kodak camera, and they want $12 for it. Case of flash holder. You got this little camera here as well. Just super cool.